There's a man you've never heard of who changed how the world thinks about money. Not Adam Smith. Not Karl Marx. Not John Maynard Keynes. This man lived 800 years before modern economics existed. He never studied finance. He was a religious scholar in 11th century Persia, yet he discovered principles that Wall Street still uses today. Principles that central banks operate on. Principles that explain why economies collapse. His name was Al-Ghazali, and he asked a question that destroyed his career, changed Islamic civilization, and predicted the future of capitalism. What if making money isn't the same as creating value? What if wealth itself is destroying us? The answer he found was so dangerous, so radical, that it threatened the entire economic system of his time. Kings wanted him silenced. Merchants called him a heretic. Even fellow scholars said he'd gone too far. But he was right. About everything. And what he discovered about money, morality, and the death of civilizations is more relevant now than ever. Stay with me, because what you're about to learn will change how you see every transaction you make. Part 1, 1095 AD Baghdad. The richest city in the world. Al-Ghazali is 37 years old, and at the peak of his career. He's the head scholar at the Nizamiya University. He teaches hundreds of students. Kings consult him. His books are bestsellers across the Islamic world. He has everything. Prestige, wealth, influence, security, and he's miserable. Because Al-Ghazali sees something that terrifies him. Islamic civilization is collapsing from the inside. Not from wars or invasions. From money. The Islamic Golden Age is at its height. Trade routes stretch from Spain to China. Islamic merchants dominate global commerce. Gold flows into Baghdad from everywhere. But something's wrong. Al-Ghazali watches as scholars abandon knowledge for profit. As judges take bribes. As merchants cheat customers. As the wealthy hoard while the poor starve. He sees money destroying the very civilization that created it. And he realizes, everyone is treating money as the goal, not as a tool, as the actual purpose of life. People aren't asking what should I do with my wealth, they're asking how do I get more wealth. This seems like a minor distinction. It's not. Al-Ghazali writes, money is not created for its own sake. It is created to facilitate the exchange of goods. When you treat money as the goal, you've inverted the natural order. Think about what he's saying. Money is meant to be a tool for exchange, a measuring stick, a medium. It has no value by itself. But when people start pursuing money as an end goal, everything breaks. Why? Because if money is the goal, then accumulating it becomes the purpose. And if accumulating it is the purpose, then the logical thing to do is hoard it. Keep it, never spend it. But if everyone hoards money, trade stops. The economy freezes. Money that should be flowing stops moving. Al-Ghazali watches this happen in real time. Wealthy merchants are hoarding gold, not investing it, not spending it, just accumulating it. And the economy is dying. He writes something revolutionary. Hoarding wealth is a sin against society. Money that doesn't circulate is money that destroys. This isn't just moral philosophy. This is economic theory. Al-Ghazali has discovered what modern economists call the velocity of money. The idea that economic health depends on money moving. That hoarding creates deflation and depression. But he's writing this in 1095. European economists won't figure this out for another 800 years. And he goes further. He says, the one who hoards dirhams and dinars is like someone who has blocked a stream. He has deprived others of what was meant to flow. He's describing liquidity crisis, cash hoarding, economic stagnation. But here's where Al-Ghazali's theory gets truly revolutionary. He doesn't just say hoarding is economically bad. He says it's morally evil. Why? Because wealth is created by society. By workers, traders, farmers, craftsmen. The wealthy person didn't create their wealth alone. Society created it. Therefore, hoarding wealth is stealing from the society that created it. This is explosive. Al-Ghazali is saying that property rights aren't absolute. That wealth comes with social obligations. That there's such a thing as immoral profit. Merchants hate this. Because Al-Ghazali is basically saying, your business practices are destroying civilization. But he's not done. He's about to say something even more dangerous. Al-Ghazali starts analyzing how money works. Not just theoretically, practically. And he discovers something shocking. Money can lose value even when the coins don't change. He writes, when a king mints excessive coins, each coin becomes worth less, even though it's still the same coin. It's as if the coin's soul has been diminished. This is inflation theory. In 1095 AD, let me explain what he's seeing. Islamic empires are minting more and more coins to fund wars and palaces. More coins enter circulation, but the amount of goods stays the same. So prices rise. The same coin that bought a loaf of bread yesterday now buys half a loaf. Al-Ghazali realizes the value of money isn't in the metal. It's in what the money can buy. And when you create more money without creating more goods, you destroy the money's purchasing power. This is the quantity theory of money, the foundation of monetary economics. But Western economists won't formalize this until the 1500s. 400 years later, Al-Ghazali goes deeper. He asks, why do kings mint excessive coins? Answer, to fund wars and luxuries without raising taxes. But who gets hurt? The poor, because they're paid fixed wages. When prices rise, their wages buy less. They get poorer, while the king stays rich. Al-Ghazali writes, the excessive minting of coins is a form of theft from the people. It's a hidden tax that falls on those least able to bear it. This is regressive taxation theory. Inflation as theft from the poor. Modern economists understand this, but they learned it centuries after Al-Ghazali. Now, Al-Ghazali connects this to morality. He says, a ruler who debases currency is committing a crime against his people. He's stealing their wealth invisibly. This is why kings don't like Al-Ghazali. He's calling their monetary policy immoral. But he's not just attacking rulers. He's attacking merchants too. Al-Ghazali analyzes common business practices and declares many of them immoral. Cornering markets, immoral. You're creating artificial scarcity to raise prices. Price gouging during shortages, immoral. You're profiting from others' suffering. Lending at excessive interest, immoral. You're extracting wealth without creating value. Selling defective goods, immoral. You're stealing through deception. He's not saying business is bad. He's saying business has moral limits. That profit-seeking must serve a social purpose. And here's his central insight. Profit is only legitimate when it serves society. If your profit comes from harming others, or from creating no value, it's theft. This is revolutionary. Most people think, if it's legal and voluntary, it's moral. Al-Ghazali says, no, legality doesn't equal morality. Voluntary transactions can still be exploitative. Profit can still be theft. He gives an example. During a famine, a merchant buys all the grain and sells it at 10 times the price. People voluntarily buy because they're starving. It's legal. But Al-Ghazali says, this is murder. You're letting people die unless they pay your ransom. That you're not holding a knife doesn't make it less deadly. Merchants are furious. They say, we're just responding to supply and demand. The market sets the price. Al-Ghazali responds, the market isn't moral. Just because people will pay doesn't mean you should charge it. He's attacking the entire foundation of profit maximization. He's saying there's such a thing as excessive profit, immoral profit, sinful profit. And he's about to explain why this matters for civilization itself. Now Al-Ghazali makes his most important observation. Excessive profit-seeking destroys communities. He writes, when merchants pursue only profit, they cease to be members of the community. They become predators among their own people. Here's what he means. In a healthy society, economic activity strengthens social bonds. The baker bakes bread. The farmer grows wheat. The merchant distributes goods. Everyone serves each other. But when profit becomes the only goal, these relationships break. The baker starts cutting corners to increase margins. The farmer hoards during shortages to raise prices. The merchant exploits information asymmetry to cheat customers. Trust disappears. Community dissolves. Everyone becomes everyone else's enemy. Al-Ghazali is describing what modern sociologists call social capital erosion, the destruction of trust networks that make society function. And he says this is why civilizations collapse. Not from external threats, from internal moral decay caused by excessive profit-seeking. He looks at Islamic history. The early Islamic community was unified. People helped each other. Wealth was shared. Society thrived. But by his time, wealth concentration has created massive inequality. The rich are getting richer, while the poor starve. Social cohesion is breaking. Why? Because wealthy merchants are maximizing profit without regard for social consequences. Al-Ghazali writes, a society where the wealthy hoard and the merchants exploit cannot survive. It will collapse from within, hollowed out by greed. This is prophetic. Within 200 years of Al-Ghazali's death, the Islamic Golden Age ends. The civilization fragments. The Mongols invade and destroy what's left. But here's the question. Could moral economics have prevented this? Al-Ghazali thinks yes. He proposes an alternative economic system based on moral principles. First principle, wealth must circulate. Mandatory charity isn't just spiritual, it's economic policy. Taking money from those who would hoard it and giving it to those who will spend it keeps the economy flowing. Second principle, profit must be limited. There should be social norms against excessive markups. Not legal limits necessarily, but moral pressure. Third principle, business must serve community. Merchants should see themselves as servants of society, not as wealth extractors. Fourth principle, money is a tool, not a goal. Judge success by what you do with wealth, not how much you accumulate. This sounds idealistic, but Al-Ghazali argues it's actually practical. Why? Because societies with strong moral limits on profit-seeking are more stable. They have less inequality, more social cohesion, better long-term economic health. Societies without moral limits experience short-term growth followed by collapse. The wealthy extract too much. Inequality becomes unsustainable. Revolution or invasion destroys everything. Al-Ghazali is saying, moral economics isn't about being nice, it's about survival. But he faces a problem. How do you implement moral economics when it goes against human nature? His answer shocks everyone. Al-Ghazali is teaching at the university. Mid-lecture, he stops speaking. He stands frozen. Then he walks out. He never returns. He abandons his position, his salary, his prestige. He gives away most of his wealth. He becomes a wandering Sufi mystic. Why? Because he realizes something devastating. You can't change economic systems from the outside. You have to change people from the inside. All his theories about moral economics don't matter if people's hearts are corrupted by greed. You can't regulate morality into existence. Laws won't fix what's broken in human nature. So Al-Ghazali spends the next 11 years on a spiritual journey. He's trying to understand how to transform human motivation, how to make people genuinely care about morality instead of just profit. He writes his masterpiece, The Revival of Religious Sciences. It's 40 books covering every aspect of Islamic life. But the core message is about purifying the heart from excessive attachment to material things. He's saying, the economic problem is spiritual. Unless people genuinely believe that money is a tool and not a goal, no system will work. This is why Islamic banking later develops, based on his principles. No interest-bearing loans, profit sharing instead. Investment in real assets, not speculation. Mandatory charity built into the system. These aren't just religious rules. They're applications of Al-Ghazali's economic theories. And here's what's fascinating. His ideas spread beyond Islam. When his works are translated into Latin in the 12th century, European scholars are stunned. Here's someone who's thought deeply about economics, ethics, and human nature in ways they haven't. Thomas Aquinas reads Al-Ghazali and incorporates his ideas about just price and usury. These concepts shape medieval Christian economics. Renaissance thinkers encounter his theories about money, circulation, and inflation. These ideas influence early modern economic thought. Even Adam Smith, centuries later, is responding to ideas that trace back to Al-Ghazali, the concept that markets need moral frameworks, that self-interest must be constrained by ethics. Al-Ghazali's insight was that economics without morality leads to societal destruction. And his solution was that morality without spiritual transformation is impossible. But here's the question. Was he right? Part 5. Pull out your credit card. Look at it. That piece of plastic represents something Al-Ghazali warned about. Money as abstraction. Money divorced from real value. Money as pure number. We've reached the logical endpoint of treating money as the goal instead of the tool. Think about modern economics. Companies maximize shareholder value. That's the only goal. Not serving customers. Not treating workers well. Not benefiting society. Just increasing stock price. This is precisely what Al-Ghazali warned against. Profit without purpose. Wealth accumulation as the sole objective. And what's happening? Exactly what he predicted. Inequality is exploding. The wealthy hoard while wages stagnate. Social cohesion is collapsing. Trust in institutions is at all-time lows. Communities are fragmenting. Al-Ghazali said, when merchants become predators, society dies. Look around. Is he wrong? But here's what's even more disturbing. We've created systems Al-Ghazali couldn't imagine. High-frequency trading where algorithms make millions of trades per second. Derivatives so complex that nobody understands them. Financial weapons of mass destruction that can crash global economy. All in pursuit of profit without purpose. Money making money without creating anything real. Al-Ghazali's inflation theory, we're living it. Central banks print trillions. Asset prices explode. The poor get crushed by rising costs, while the wealthy see their portfolios soar. His warning about hoarding. Corporations are sitting on trillions in cash. Money that should be circulating, investing, creating jobs. Instead, it's dead capital. His point about moral limits on profit. We've declared that markets are amoral, that business has no social responsibility, that anything legal is acceptable. And we're shocked when inequality breeds resentment, when social fabric tears, when civilization feels like it's coming apart. Al-Ghazali saw this 900 years ago. But here's the deeper question. Was his solution right? He said you can't fix economic systems without fixing human hearts. That spiritual transformation must precede economic transformation. Most modern economists reject this. They say, create the right incentive structures, and people will behave correctly. Design the system, and human nature doesn't matter. But what if Al-Ghazali was right? What if systems reflect values, and values come from something deeper than incentives? What if the economic crisis is actually a spiritual crisis? That's what Al-Ghazali believed. That excessive materialism isn't just economically destructive. It's spiritually corrosive. It makes people hollow, anxious, never satisfied. You pursue money thinking it will bring happiness. But money as a goal is infinite. You can never have enough. So you're trapped in permanent dissatisfaction. This is why Al-Ghazali walked away from wealth and prestige, not because he thought poverty was holy, but because he realized attachment to material things was making him miserable. He said, treat money as a tool. Use it, but don't serve it. Don't let it define your worth or your purpose. This sounds like self-help, but it's actually economic theory. If enough people genuinely viewed money this way, entire systems would change. People would consume less, save more, share more, invest in real things instead of speculation. Velocity of money would increase, but in healthy ways. Inequality would decrease. Social cohesion would strengthen, not through laws, through voluntary transformation of values. So here's what Al-Ghazali really teaches us. The economic problem is a moral problem. We've spent centuries trying to perfect economic systems. Capitalism, socialism, mixed economies. We tweak incentives, adjust regulations, manipulate interest rates. But Al-Ghazali says, none of this matters if people's hearts are wrong. If society values wealth accumulation above everything else, any system will become corrupted. The problem isn't capitalism or any other system. The problem is treating money as the goal instead of the tool. And the solution isn't just better policy. It's transformation of values. Al-Ghazali discovered inflation theory, velocity of money, social capital erosion, all 800 years before Western economics formalized them. But his greatest insight wasn't economic. It was moral. Civilization survives when economics serves society. It collapses when society serves economics. We're living through what Al-Ghazali predicted. Wealth concentration destroying social cohesion. Profit seeking without purpose, corroding communities. Money worship, replacing human values. The question is, are we going to learn what he tried to teach? Because history is clear. Civilizations that let economics devour morality don't survive. Rome fell. Islamic golden age ended. Every empire that prioritized wealth over values eventually collapsed. Not from external enemies, from internal hollowing. From the spiritual death that comes from worshipping money. Al-Ghazali saw this coming 900 years ago. He walked away from everything to warn us. The question isn't whether his economics were sophisticated. They were. The question is whether his warning was true. Look around. What do you think? Drop your thoughts in comments. And if this changed how you see money and morality, share it. Because Al-Ghazali's message isn't ancient history. It's an emergency broadcast from the past, warning us about our future. Money is a tool, not a goal. Wealth must circulate, not stagnate. Profit must serve purpose, not destroy community. 900 years later, we still haven't learned. But maybe it's not too late.